Hello, people, and welcome back to what is the last episode of Trash Talk, and probably anything that will be put out on this channel for the rest of 2016.
Thank fuck for that.
Well, actually, I'm working on something at the moment. It'll probably, if it's not put up by Christmas, it'll almost certainly be put up by the end of the year. But this is the last podcast we're doing.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about other stuff before? Since we don't have that other podcast to talk about our week, I'm just gonna do that here.
I was gonna
because
suggest that.
I started off the week. I tried to play Drakengard, which is the game that is. It's a game from like the dawn of the Square Enix era. Like I think it was developed when Enix were still Enix, and just released under Square Enix. It's a PS2 game. It's a Dynasty Warriors ripoff, and it is terrible. It's awful. I hate it. And but the interesting thing about that game, and the reason I picked it up, is that the game's fifth ending leads to Nier.
Oh.
Yeah. And another thing that I played more recently this week was the Nier Automata demo. And that was pretty good.
Mm.
Who would have thought that this fucking bullshit little series would 13 years later become actually good? Like, it's terrible, Drakengard 1. It's clunky. Every character is horrible. Okay, so the main character is just a complete psychopath, whose sister is a goddess who wants to fuck him. And his party consists of a Nazi, a pedo, and some other bad things. And like,
so the cast of part 2.
Well, what pedo was there in part 2?
I mean, there's something going on between Speedwagon and Smokey. Don't try and deny it.
Yeah, Nier Automata was pretty good. Platinum taking over the reins, and it shows. It doesn't. I think a lot of people go into that expecting a platinum. No, one person on my Twitter was really angry about it because he was saying that it was too easy, even though he played it on normal and refused to play hard because it turned off the lock on. And like, come on, get over yourself. He's the only person I saw complaining about it, but he was complaining about it a lot. So all of my deflections of criticisms are actually just based at him. So yeah. Don't come to this expecting a platinum game. Come to this expecting a smoother version of Nier, and that's what it is. It feels like Nier, but like maybe actually good this time, gameplay-wise. The story that Demo presented was not something I can judge how the game's going to be off of, but I am looking forward to that very much. What else is there? Nothing. There's nothing. Oh, it was a JoJo chapter. There wasn't much that happened in it. It was pretty okay. Then that's the new JoJo mobile game. I think it's a brawler, but with touch controls. They showed footage in the ad break of the episode, and it didn't look like it had like touch buttons. So I think this might be a brawler with just straight touch controls, which would be weird. It seemed like it was reusing a lot of animation from the from All-Star Battle and Eyes of Heaven, and I'd say the chances of another JoJo console game are pretty slim at the moment because Eyes of Heaven.
There might be
Eyes of Heaven did pretty badly.
Alright. I think the One Piece games do pretty badly, and they're like always.
No, I mean in Japan.
Oh shit! Yeah.
It did pretty badly in Japan.
Oh, if JoJo did bad in Japan, then
like All Star Battle was the best-selling PS3 game of that year.
Really?
Eyes of Heaven was not. But maybe that's just more to do with the Japanese console market than. But Eyes of Heaven is bad, but it also has to do with the fact that the console market in Japan is dying. Like pretty much every.
Well, it has been for like years, hasn't it?
Yeah. Pretty much every Japanese game this year has done worse than the one that came before it, apart from Persona, pretty much.
How did Persona do?
Well, better than 4. Well, actually, no, I think Final Fantasy 15 did worse than Final Fantasy 13, but I think it did like equally to Lightning Returns. So it depends on how you count that. But yeah, is there any stuff in your week before we get on to the?
I've had exams, so I haven't had much time for anything. I haven't even played Pokemon. I haven't touched Pokemon in over a week. Probably close to 2.
Well,
I'm probably gonna play some tonight.
Yeah, good. Do that.
I bought Codename Steam. I haven't played it.
Yeah, good choice.
And tomorrow I'm probably gonna. I only bought it because like it was €4, something like €4 or €5.
Yeah, I've seen it for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's it got pretty good reviews. Or
no,
not,
it didn't.
Well, it got like, as in it wasn't like. Oh, I remember it getting like.
You can use your Fire. I can use my Fire Emblem Amiibos in it, and I almost bought it just for that.
69% on Metacritic, 7.9 on IGN. So like, it's not a great game, but like, hold on, how long is it actually? I mean, but like, I wouldn't have bought it otherwise. 21 hours.
Yeah.
21 hours, but like I wouldn't have bought it, definitely not if it was full price. I don't even really remember what Codename Steam is fully.
It's sort of XCOM-ish.
Like,
vaguely.
Yeah, something like that. But
yeah,
I barely remember.
I hear it got better after launch because they added a speed up. They added a speed up option.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Yeah. So yeah, JoJo. That was.
I think my only issue was Kira's death.
Oh, really?
Not him dying. Not him dying.
Yeah,
the way he died.
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit anticlimactic for him to just get.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting that. I was kind of expecting that from people, but it's because he does die from the end, but like he really dies in the alley. I feel like
I know. He really dies there, but at the same time, it still would have been like. I feel it would have been better if he was given. I
don't even remember how I responded to the ambulance when I read it, but I have come to love it. It is. There are going to be shitposts about that for months, and one thing I was pleasantly surprised by was the fact that they animated the. Because when he's telling the erection story about the Mona Lisa,
that was weird.
When he tells that in the manga, he's just telling it. Like, they don't show him reading the book and putting it up on his wall.
Oh, right.
And I was so happy with that. Dave Production's doing good work. And they extended the epilogue a little bit as well, because I think there were a few in there that definitely weren't in the manga.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of... I thought it was kind of weird that they brought like all the characters. Like, okay, so there was the cook guy, the chain guy. I forget their name. Hazamada. Is that the
Hazamada?
Chain?
Kobayashi. I know them all. Don't worry.
Yeah, because anyway, those guys. I felt it was kind of weird that they brought like all those really minor characters back.
Yeah. That's sort of the Part 4's deal, you know? The Mario, the golden spirit of the community and all that shit, you know? It's good. And there was one little reference in Rohan's little bit of the epilogue to one of the spin-off comics that I was really happy with. The exercises.
What exercises?
Like that's like his finger exercises that he does.
Oh.
Like that's like a whole 2 pages in one of the spin-off chapters.
Really?
And I was him just explaining how he does his finger exercises. I reckon he was off the wall with those things. You can read them fine now, you know? They're there. They don't spoil anything. Yeah, it's good. I'm happy with that. I did kind of expect them to do a sound effects version of Bites of the Dust opening, but I guess trade that for the extended epilogue. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I'll take that.
Speaking of which, was Great Days at the End done by the Sonoji no Sadame guy?
It was done by all 3 of the original OPs. It's the same. It's by the Joe. The 3 of them together are like the Joe Stars in. Like that's the name. They did Sonochi no Kyoku. It's the 3 of them. The Sonochi no Sadame guy, the Bloody Stream guy, and the Stand Proud guy all together.
But then there was some, and then
I like
someone,
that they did that.
Yeah, and then there was someone completely different for Chase and Crazy Noisy.
Yeah. That was nice. I'm still looking for because that's up on Japanese iTunes, but no one has had the courtesy to download it and put it up on YouTube yet.
What, all 3 of them?
Because, yeah, like they put it up on Japanese iTunes immediately. On that note, the 2nd volume of the soundtrack came out, and that's really good. There's some good things in there that are like they have a full version of the song that plays when Kira's clipping his nails in Quiet Life, which is something so specific that I'm very happy about. It sounds like a Silent Hill credits theme. It's great. Just something. That's one big problem I had. I really expected a Part 5 teaser.
Yeah, I did too. I did too.
Very
I was
much.
like, okay, there's... Like, I didn't expect the epilogue to run as long as it did. I'm glad that it did, but I expected there to be, like, a 30-second to 1-minute bit at the end, because, like, going into the epilogue, I was like, oh, there's a decent amount of time left. They'll probably do a Part 5 teaser.
See, you thought there would be one. I know how Part 5 starts, and it is perfect for so perfect for a teaser.
No, yeah, I think I know how Part 5 starts too. Isn't it like what's it called?
Spoilers, I guess. For like the first 5 minutes of Part 5.
And I'm probably wrong, but isn't it like Jotaro sends like a letter to Koichi? Is like, yo, come here.
No, he just sends Koichi to Italy.
Oh, right.
He just brings Koichi aside and is like, "Hey, it's your spring break. Go to Italy. Do this thing for me." And then he shows up and he's like, "Man, I just want to get this over with and head to Paris, go to Disneyland. It's gonna be a fun time." Rohan taught me Italian, but like, I wanted that in the epilogue. I wanted just like a second of Rohan pulling Koichi aside and being like, just having storing knows Italian onto him. That would have been great. But that would present the problem of people being like, if he can just do that, why didn't he write knows who Yoshikage Kira is on people? And that is a question that exists anyway.
No, yeah, like Heaven's Door is already kind of OP.
And the thing that happens in those spin-offs is that Heaven's Door becomes like Heaven's Door continues to get more powerful as those spin-off chapters go on. Like, it gets to a point where he's Heaven's Dooring a chicken wing and himself. What? Yeah.
A chicken wing.
It's a chicken drumstick.
Excuse me. Well, in that case,
I was correcting myself. Don't worry. But it's it gets weird.
Who's playing guitar?
Sorry about that. I'm trying to stop. I'm trying to stop him. I swear.
Stop playing guitar.
Give me a second.
So, Reidy tries to stop someone from playing guitar. I don't even know.
I think... Is that it? Maybe?
Yeah.
I don't even know. No, normally he's being given out to because he doesn't practice enough. And now he decides to fucking practice. He doesn't even have class for like another 2 weeks. Whatever. But part of me, because I don't think that part with Okuyasu's dad, Antonio's, was in the manga. I thought, are Dave Productions just gonna do that? Are they just gonna fix him right now? No, they didn't. They didn't really call attention to the fact that, because in the manga I think they do, they call attention to the fact that he's just taken in Stray Cat as his own, which is great. I love it.
Why? But why is Stray Cat not trying to kill him?
I don't know. He likes him. Because there's that one part where Okuyasu just grabs him and he flails around for a second and is just like, oh yeah, I'm cool with this. It's great. And it also didn't mention in Joseph's part of the epilogue that he names the baby.
Oh, what?
He names the baby Shizuka, which is suspiciously familiar to another name from
who?
A time in the past.
What?
Shiza.
Oh.
And it also left out the line where he goes back to Suzy Q and she's like, is this another one of your illegitimate children then?
I actually would have loved to have seen that. No, yeah,
it doesn't show it. It just says it. But they didn't say it.
I would have loved to have seen Joseph going back with a baby to Suzy Q.
Yeah. I don't know. And Jotaro got his degree in marine biology based on a starfish he saw.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a dolphin.
See, no. In Japan, the meme is that he wants to fuck a starfish.
What?
I don't know what difference there was that made them think that and us think this. But they think he wants to fuck starfish. We think he wants to fuck dolphins. I don't know what did it. Like how... Oh, what was the video I found? So there's this... One big JoJo meme in Japan is Kira's work colleague. They just put him in everything. It's really weird. I found a video of it a week ago, and it was just him edited into the fight in the house. Just walking around being like, Kira, you have to stop. And what? What? I don't... Why? Japan? What? What? I don't get it. Japan? What? Though I guess, I don't think they make Pillar Man jokes at all because they all read the manga. Whereas, because I think that's a lot of why Japan doesn't like Part 2 that much, because they all read it, whereas pretty much no one in the West came to Part 2 for the first time reading it. You know? And Part 2 is probably the most, like, improved by its animation because of that godly soundtrack. And yeah, so that's my detailed thesis on the difference in JoJo memes between the West and the East. I also know that they apparently a big thing on Nico Video is Western reaction videos to the JoJo anime, because I don't know, they like seeing the fresh reactions or whatever. Another thing that I guess this is a piece of news that we would have covered in that other podcast, but the Persona people, they're just making a fantasy game. Just
unrelated.
Yep. They set up Atlas set up a new internal studio, put all the Persona people there, and we're like, okay, now make a generic fantasy game. And that's interesting to me. That's because pretty much since the founding of the company, every in-house Atlas game that's gotten a big push has just been Megaten. And now this isn't Megaten at all. That'll be interesting. We're not saying that for years. Like, they announced it on the front cover of Famitsu, and we're like, okay, on Friday we will have a live stream where we will start promoting the recruitment process. So we're going to be waiting a while on that. So that's something for us to talk about in the other podcast for the next 5 fucking years. How wonderful.
Fantastic.
Coming to Nintendo Switch 2 and PS5. No. Coming winter 2018 to PlayStation 4. That'll be the meme in 2025. I tell you what. When we're all waiting for ReFantasy, looking at those.
Oh yeah, did I tell you?
What will the fantasy version of chairs be?
I think I told you this, but when I was going through the podcast backlog, I found one where we're discussing Persona 5, and this was like a couple of delays ago.
Yeah.
And I forget when, but like according to the timeline, it should be out by now. Here.
Yeah.
And you were like, I think you said like November or something.
I was guessing. I was like, okay, so it's out in Japan in September, and surely they have given Atlas USA it early with enough time so they can just get it out quickly. It's taken 6 months. It's been out in Japan 3 months. It's not out here. Yeah, it's been out in Japan 3 months. Fuck. It's not out here. It's not out here for another 4. Fuck you, Atlas. They've actually announced their next game 4 months before we get it. I'm not going to be surprised when they announce a Persona 5 spin-off before it comes out here. Because when they were talking about this new game, they were like, yep, Persona 5 spin-offs, they're coming. We'll announce them soon. But I guarantee you, there will be a Persona 5 spin-off, Persona 5 Guitaring All Night, coming, being announced maybe like a week before the Western release even. Like, it could... And it'll just have, like, hey, here is the villain. Right there in the trailer. Fuck you, Westerners. We don't even care. Thank God for dual audio. But yeah, that's it for JoJo until February, because there's a special event in February. Ooh. And there's also an OVA in like June when all the Blu-rays are finished.
An OVA for what?
Darkness Unbreakable. Of one of the Rohan spin-offs. But it seems like they have announced which it is. I hope they change it because it's one of the worst ones, and I think you should read them all anyway because they're good. The Spoke Kishibe Rohan, it is called, and also Dead Man's Questions. That's another one. They're both before spin-offs. They're both good. No, maybe actually we should save that for an episode. That would be an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that seems like a good place to end off for the year. In 2017, we are going to start strong with the shit that is the JoJo OVA, the Stardust Crusaders OVA. Then we are going to go into Gurren Lagann. So if you want to be watching that, we'll probably do 2 or 3 episodes a week of
the OVA. There's 13 episodes of the OVA.
Alright. So if we do 2 episodes,
one of them.
Yeah, probably 12.
Yeah,
and it's not even really an OVA at 12 episodes.
No, it was 2 seasons of OVAs.
Alright.
And okay, you know what the OVA did? Okay, in like the mid-90s, first piece of JoJo that ever came to the West. It starts at the Egypt arc.
Huh.
And then a few years later, they were like, okay, yeah, let's go back and do the first part of part 3. It's really dumb. So you have to watch the second season first. Because fuck it.
Are we gonna do that?
Yeah, duh, because then it takes place in order. But like, imagine that, like, you're just someone in the 90s who fucking runs into a copy of JoJo in some fucking seedy anime shop, and you're like, whoa, and you load it up, and they're already in Egypt, and you're like, there's this Dio Brando guy, he's fucking, like, they just expect you to know everything.
Well, to be fair,
they expect you to know the first half of the story. No, but why did they bring it to the West, though?
Did they?
They did. They dubbed it.
Dubbed? What? Who's Jotaro? Jotaro?
I don't know. Some 90s dub actor.
What if it's the guy who did Yusuke? Huh.
What?
Nothing.
Okay. I got confused there for a second because the guy who's playing the character Yusuke in Persona 5 is the dub voice of Jotaro in the modern Stardust. That got me very confused. And funnily enough, the Japanese voice of Yusuke in Persona 5 is Joseph Joestar. So, yeah, that's
so
how.
Also in the new year, hopefully at some point, we will be having Roger's base of One Piece fame and the professional shitbag himself, Jeff Thu, on at the same time.
Yeah.
But this is what I say now. It's probably a really bad idea to say this, because at least one of them are probably gonna be like, yeah, no.
Yeah. Oh well.
It has been said now.
Not like anyone's gonna hear it.
Ow. That hurts. But whatever.
Yeah.
So see you in the new year, people.
Yep. Look forward to part 5 teaser in February, I guess, maybe. Probably.
Sea Space Cowboy.